I'm 54 and I'm planning to rock out the second half of my life. I am not slowing down, I am revving up. I am Laura 2.0. But I do know things need to change in order for that to happen. I do not have the same energy I used to have. I don't have the same focus. I don't sleep as well. I gained 20 pounds along the way pretty quickly once I hit that certain age. So I do know I need to shift things in order to really feel like I've got the energy and the vibrancy to rock out the second half. I did a separate video that shares more about my own personal journey through this challenging time in my life. And actually, this is the third video in a series that I've done around this. I also did a video that shared what I learned when I did a deep dive in 2023 about what it is I really need to do at this stage of my life. What is it that will actually make a difference? Because things do change. And I am officially a wellness expert. I have been in the wellness field for over 30 years, my entire professional career. I focused on yoga, life coaching, fitness, just helping people feel good in their bodies, in their lives. And I was really struggling. And I thought, if I'm struggling, I know I am not the only one. So I decided this is my year to thrive, or really figure out how to thrive. What is it I need to do, shift, change in order to have better focus, have better energy, sleep better, manage my weight in a healthier way. I don't want to do anything drastic. I want to do things that are sustainable, things that I can actually see myself doing for the rest of my life. So what I've done is I've committed to doing a 14-day lifestyle reset every single month for this year. I'm really excited about this. And actually I have turned it into a thing. It's called Simply Clean. You can link below to check it out. It's part of my wellness community, Simply the Wellness Place. And in this video, what I want to do is share with you the 6 things I'm focused on every single month that I am working on. And I also want to share with you the things that haven't made as big of a difference and the things that have definitely made a dramatic difference. There actually isn't much that hasn't made a difference. Actually, there's a month where I didn't do a very good job. I will definitely be sharing with you that. That didn't make as big of a difference because I didn't do a very good job with it. But I'm going to share with you really where you want to focus. So hopefully you will get some ideas for yourself so you can take some charge of your life and make some changes for yourself. So without further ado, let's get into this. So what we need to focus on is reducing inflammation. Inflammation causes much of the issues that are frustrating us at this time in life. Things like gaining weight, mostly around our middle, that is resistant to going away, right? Like it just sticks and you can't seem to lose it. Inflammation can also cause swelling in our joints and joint pain. It can disrupt our sleep, whether that's having a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep, or maybe you feel like you slept great, but you wake up feeling super groggy. It can also be the source of our low energy. So even an afternoon lull can be improved when you reduce your inflammation. It can affect your brain, your ability to focus. And also it can cause bloating and other GI, gastrointestinal issues. We'll leave it at that. Luckily, 4 of the major causes of inflammation are well within our control. They are diet, so what you eat, stress, exhaustion, and exposure to toxins, just everyday toxins that we have in household products. And it's the first 3 that I am focused on each month. And that's what I'm working on this year. So reducing toxins in your home, that is something I did years and years ago. And there are a few main areas you want to focus on when you're doing that. So if that's something you want to learn more about, you can comment below and let me know. But I would like to talk about what I'm doing every month. I'm shifting something around exercise. That's number 1. And as you exercise more, it's going to help you relax. It's going to help you handle stress better. You're going to sleep a little bit better. And if you happen to be a woman of a certain age, there are 2 things you need to be focused on, and that is getting more steps in just moving more, and I like to focus on steps because that represents that, and also strength training. So I am working on that as well. Number 2, I'm working on relaxation and deepening my sleep. Those two, while technically different, they do go hand in hand, right? So I'm working on doing something to truly relax every single day and improving my bedtime hygiene so that I can sleep better, get a deeper night of sleep. My challenge has always been waking up in the middle of the night and then not being able to get back to sleep. Now, when I say it has always been, really it's just the past few years. I slept really well until I hit that certain age, and that's when I started to get really challenged. Number 3 is dietary shifts. So during those 2 weeks, I focus on cutting out all inflammatory foods. So that includes alcohol, red meats, processed foods, sugars, processed sugars, added sugars, processed foods, unless I just said that, white flour, that sort of thing, and cutting all of that out. Now, I also personally cut out any kind of wheat, which I can't eat anyway because I'm very sensitive to wheat, and dairy, because that is a sensitivity for me. If you have a food sensitivity, know that it causes inflammation for you. So while there are universals for inflammation, there are also ones that are specific to you, and that you want to cut those out as well. Now, on top of cutting those things out, I'm also making sure to add in anti-inflammatory foods, and you can Google a whole list of anti-inflammatory foods. And what I like to do with each of my 2 weeks is pick 2 or 3 new foods or newish foods, ones that I don't eat very much, and figure out ways to incorporate it into my diet with the hopes that I will keep eating it going forward. Number 4 is hydration, getting enough fluids in. Now, there's a couple of things to keep in mind here. First of all, where do you begin? Well, general rule of thumb is half of your body weight in ounces each day. So if you weigh 160 pounds, it's 80 ounces a day. Now, keep in mind things like juices and coffee and teas do count. They're not 1-to-1. Water counts a little bit more for sure, but you're still getting fluids in with those things. You also get a lot of water from your foods, and that's something that we never take into account. At least I never did. There's a lot of water in the foods that we consume. So what you want to pay attention to is the color of your pee. So it should be a very pale yellow, not clear, because then you've got too much hydration, and yes, you can get too much. And definitely not darker yellow or having an odor to it, then you definitely need more fluid. So I like to tell people, start with half your body weight and then see how it goes. And also realize you're going to have different days where you need different hydration. Depends on your weather, how much exercise you're doing, so many things. You just want to see what your body needs. Number 5 is drinking a lot of NINGXIA Red. So NINGXIA Red is my brand partner Young Living's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory drink. It's something that I've had 2 ounces of every single day for over a decade, and it's definitely phenomenal. But during the reset, I drink even more, and I am telling you that has made a huge difference for me. Now, I've got more information about NINGXIA Red. There's research done on it, and I'll link below in the description, as well as a quick video on the science behind it. It tastes really good, and it is phenomenal. So the goal with all of this is that as I do them for 14 days, these are all things that are just going to help you feel better. I'm going to maintain some of it at the end. I'm not going to maintain all of it, but I will maintain some of it at the end to keep going forward. And then I'll do it the next month and add a little bit more that month. So this is my year to thrive, right? So each month I'm tweaking all the things that I can do to help reduce inflammation. Now, on top of all of that, I'm doing one other thing. And I want to share this, especially for any of you out there who are going, oh my God, that's so many things. Because I tell people who are doing it with me, you don't have to do everything. Like if all of that on that list is like, I cannot even begin, then just start with 1 or 2 or 3. Like start wherever it is you can work, because anything you do is going to improve your inflammation, right? So for the most part, these things are things I already do. I have a really healthy lifestyle. I've been following healthy living, if you will, for decades. It's what I do. It's my job. It's my passion. I love doing this. And this year really is about shifting to the lifestyle that I need in my second half, because it is slightly different than what I needed in the first half of my life, for sure. But I'm taking one of these every month to the next level and really focusing in on it. And I'm also doing this because I want to be able to see how everything affects me so I can share with you. And so right now I have finished the first quarter of 2024. So we are currently in the beginning of April. And I wanted to share what I've done so far and what I've learned. Some good, some not so good. So in January, all I changed, the only thing I changed was drinking the extra amounts of NINGXIA Red, because I was just curious what would happen. And honestly, it pretty much blew my mind, because first of all, I lost 5 pounds and 4 inches, and I didn't change anything else. I didn't change my diet. I didn't change how I exercise. I didn't change my bedtime routine. I didn't do any of that. And I just drank the extra NINGXIA Red. So it was phenomenal. The other thing that happened was my energy soared. So my fitness watch measures my body battery, is what it's called. And it's essentially measuring my body reserves. I don't fully understand the science behind it. I don't have to if I know it works. It's like every time I check it, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That's pretty much where I feel I am. And it's basically how much energy I have. So it's on a scale of 5 to 100, 100 being fully recharged battery, 5 being depleted. I had the watch a year and a half, and I had never gotten to the end of a day without being a 5, like using up all of my energy. In fact, I normally didn't get to 2 or 3 o'clock without being a 5, and often it was a 5 by noon. Like, I just bottomed out, and I can do a whole video on why this is, and because I've really been working on it. I didn't even know you could end a day without being bottomed out. In comes the reset in January with drinking the extra NINGXIA Red. That second week, you can see it right here in the graphic. You can see that second week of the reset I've circled. The bottom little dot isn't at the bottom, right? Like I didn't bottom out any day, and I was charging higher. And even the days where I didn't charge higher, I still wasn't bottoming out. Now, just in case you notice those 2 little white dots that weren't at the bottom at the beginning of that graphic, I just want to point out that I didn't bottom out on those days because I was charging my watch. You don't bottom out if you're not wearing your watch. So that's why those didn't bottom out. Every other day, trust me, I didn't even know it was possible. So this extra energy, ending the day with energy, was a brand new thing for me. It was something I had not ever experienced. So let's just say I became even more of a NINGXIA Red convert, if you need to have another reason. Anyway, now coming into February, I decided to focus on relaxation. So I know stress is what drains my battery faster than anything. It's true for all of us. And stress is just something that I have lived by. I mean, it's the reason I drain my watch every single day. So I really wanted to focus on taking 20 minutes to put my feet up the wall, which is just this gentle yoga pose you can do to help you relax, move into the parasympathetic relaxation response, shift your nervous system down. I'll be honest, I only did it for the first 5 or 6 days, and then I totally forgot to do it after that. So it was not a really good reset for me. My focus wasn't super on point. By the end of the month, I remembered, and I started doing it more regularly then. So I did take that habit into March. That was something I definitely want to continue. And in March, my goal for the reset was to get my steps up to 10,000 a day. I did 6,000 a day in 2023. And this year I wanted to get to 8,000 a day. So I did 8,000 in January and February. So March I thought, I'm just going to see if I can do 10,000 a day. So I was doing 10,000 a day, and I was continuing the feet up the wall and drinking the NINGXIA Red, etc. And I will tell you that I started sleeping so soundly, like through the night, and hard and recharging. You know, if I sleep more soundly, get into that deeper sleep, my battery recharges. So if you've ever had that experience, and I know you have, when you feel like I slept really great, but I woke up feeling super groggy, that's usually because you didn't actually relax. You actually slept experiencing stress, and so you didn't actually rejuvenate and recharge with your sleep. So I started sleeping super hard in March, and I don't know if it's the relaxation or the extra 2,000 steps, like what it is. I honestly don't really care here because I'm just so excited about sleeping through the night and having restorative sleep, because there's just something about that, right? Life is just easier. Okay, so now we're into April, and I just wanted to share one more quick thing before I end this video, and I will do more of these, is in April, my intention was to really get into strength training. Now, I already am into strength training. Again, I told you I already have a lot of these habits. But I really wanted to ramp it up with this reset. And for the first 10 days of April, I was with my daughter in her home because she was in the hospital and was experiencing an emergency issue with her health. And I was really tired. You know, I came back home and I was ready to start the reset. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be lifting weights. And first day hit, and I was like, I'm really tired. Like, I want to go for a walk and do my 10,000 steps because it's relaxing. I just strolled. I didn't even get my heart rate up too high. And I took naps. Like, I was like, I can't do it. I'm in the middle of the reset right now, and I still feel that way. So on day one, I said, I'm going to keep focusing on relaxation. So I'm going to come back to that relaxation, put my feet up the wall, really focus in on that. Maybe add some breathing, some vagus nerve toning, if you know what that is. That really helps you move into that parasympathetic. But that's where I'm going to focus this month. And so I will take the strength training into May. And that is a major part of this reset. Listening to your body and really taking the time to say, what do I need now? This is why I like doing it month after month after month after month. You know, some people say, well, I want to do it every other month. That's great. Or once a quarter. That's fine too. The benefit of doing it so often is you are checking in with yourself frequently going, what do I need now? What do I need now? What's going to help me now? And you're able to pay attention to what did help me. What do I want to continue? You know, each time I do this, I do cut out all of the inflammatory foods just for 14 days, cut it all out. I don't eat that much of it in the first place. So it's not that big of a deal for me. If it's a big deal for you, maybe you just do that the first month or the second month, right? But then what I do is I maintain some of it. So when I started this, I drank wine 5 or 6 nights a week. 1 glass, maybe 2 glasses. I do enjoy a glass of wine. But when I cut it out for the 14 days, I felt my energy surge. I didn't realize just how much the wine was affecting my energy. It didn't affect me that way when I was younger, right? So when I came off the reset, I was like, I don't want wine that much. I'd have a glass of wine maybe on Saturday night, but maybe not. We started buying the airplane bottles, you know, those single serving glasses or bottles of wine instead of full ones, because I couldn't drink a full bottle of wine over 3 or 4 days because I didn't want it. So you see what we're doing is we're working on helping ourselves shift into healthier habits over time, which is just gentler for your body, for your mind, for your heart. So what have I learned so far? Well, honestly, I think each of the steps is going to be very, very crucial, and I think it's going to affect you in the long run. But I will say that getting really good sleep is so crucial to having the energy to even do these things, right? Like to have the bandwidth, you need to make sure you are getting good sleep. So working on that first would be really important. And second is, or really 1B, because this goes along with the first one, is learning how to truly relax. And we're not talking vegging in front of the TV, having a glass of wine. Those things might make you feel like you're relaxed, but you are not physically relaxed. And learning how to do that, I think, is really important, especially at this stage in our lives, because cortisol is such a trigger for us for lots of our challenges that we're having, and it's going to prevent you from getting a really good night's sleep. You may crash, but I'm so exhausted, I'm going to fall asleep really easily, but you don't get into that deep restorative sleep. You don't get into that sleep that's going to help you feel like you are well rested when you wake up. And there's a good chance you are going to wake up in the middle of the night and be awake, or you might have a hard time falling asleep. So I would say relaxation is the second most important. And then I would say the walking is a really big one. Incorporating more and more walking into your life. I used to try and do it all in one walk, but I feel like doing several mini walks throughout the day. I will do my morning walk right away in the morning to get a little sunlight in my eye that helps you acclimatize, if you will, to your circadian rhythm. And then doing another one at night with the sunset. I do that one with my husband. And then sometimes I do one in the middle of the day as a break to get myself, back to focus so I can work. Breaking it up can really help with your mental health, that relaxation that we just talked about, and it can also help you with your sleep. So it's a really nice all-around benefit. And last but not least, for sure, if you are looking for that one thing I can start with that is super easy, the NINGXIA Red. Oh my gosh, I was shocked at how amazing it was just to do the NINGXIA Red, to get my energy up, especially so I had the energy to do the other things. It was really amazing. Okay, that's it. Those are the 5 or 6-ish things that you want to be thinking about at this stage in your life. This is what I am working on in my own resets. Now, if you want to follow me for more daily-ish tips and tricks, things that I'm doing, you can check my stories on Facebook or Instagram. I will put the link below. If you want to join me for a Simply Clean for yourself, do your own 14-day reset with me. We can be reset buddies. Check the link below and find out more information on how you can order your NINGXIA Red to make sure that you are in my wellness community, simply the wellness place, with tons of benefits that come with that. And if you want a little bit more support, I do have a playlist with the other videos in this series, which include my story, things you want to think about to help reduce your belly fat, as well as a few attitude changes we need to have when we reach this certain age. You can click on that. I will definitely add that here for you. And if you just want a free toolkit, the link is below. I got so much good stuff for you. The toolkit is for the belly fat, so feel free to check that out. All right, if you made it this far, you're amazing. If you learned anything, please give it a thumbs up. If you learned a couple of things, subscribe. I look forward to sharing even more, and we'll see you in the next video.